Hey, well. We're back again.
We are back.
We are back. Niner Nation, Niner Empire. We are
Better
back. My name is
get it.
Hakeem, and this is
Yes,
my
sir.
co-host.
This is Blair talking to you.
I mean, today's a great day. We got a great show for you guys today. I got a special guest. We're gonna go ahead and bring him right in. What's going on, brother? Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. You got a huge podcast, man. I got a lot of respect for you, man. One of the podcasts I was actually listening to that got me inspired to come in the game, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. You and your boy Bar, man, is going crazy on Twitter too. But go ahead, man. Introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, man, we got these streets on fire right now, this QB talk. But yeah, I'm Javi. You guys can find me on Fourth and Goal Podcast. You can find the podcast on Twitter at Fourth and Goal Podcast. And then, of course, I do a work with Pro Football Network. I do most of their digital media, the videos that you'll see with like Draft Insiders. You got the Thursday Night Football show with Anita Marks. I run that one. We do the PFN breakdown post game on Sunday evenings. I do that with Matt Barr as well. So we're staying busy, just trying to break into this game. Hopefully, eventually it leads to something bigger. But for now, it's a really fun hobby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have fun watching y'all, man, listening to y'all, man. So keep doing your thing, man. I'm glad you can bless us with coming on the show. But, man, of course, we're going to start to get into these Niners, man. And, of course, I wanted to talk about it, man. I wanted to start off with exactly what the show is about, man. Hey, can I go ahead and live in my head, or is this for real stuff, man? Do we really have the two best corner duo in the NFL, man? Do y'all believe that we have the two best duo corners in the league? Now that Richard's back, Richard's playing at a good high level. When he came back his first game back, he looked healthy. I'm not going to get over happy because it's the Rams, right? Because we own the Rams. And you got to remember, we beat them without them. So, again, we go into next week against Buffalo. They're going to be really good. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that these two guys are the best duo corners in football?
I don't know if they're the best duo just yet. I think Richard Sherman has to put a couple games in order for me to go ahead and solidify the best duo. But, man, Richard Sherman by himself is one of the best corners in the game. Jason Verrett, I mean, we were talking about this off air. I mean, the guy basically has a rating of an 80, right? He's top 5 corner in the league right now. Mm-hmm. If you start to do this for a couple weeks consistently, then, yeah, you're going to be the best duo. Obviously, individually, they're two studs on their way up.
Yeah. I mean, we just saw them today against the Ravens. Joe Hayden and Nelson, they're not getting a lot of love. I think they're doing an excellent job. I like the duo of Xavier Howard and Byron Jones in Miami. They're doing a pretty good, solid job. I'm with you, man. I think we need to see maybe 2 more games of Sherman Verrett together, because we haven't seen that yet. We got 1 good game out of them. The potential of them being the best duo is there. But how long is that going to last? Because Sherman is getting up there, and then Verrett is also a free agent. Sherman's also a free agent at the end of the year. So as of right now, I mean, I would probably put them as a top 5 duo. If they're going to stay healthy the rest of the way, they could potentially be a top 5 duo for sure. But right now, they're not the best duo. But, man, if they play like they played the rest of the way, if they play like they play on Sunday the rest of the season, the Niners may see themselves with a playoff berth because they're going to be humongous for this team to make a push.
Yeah, and I agree with that, man. It's something about Richard. I know he lost a little bit of his speed, but everything else is there. Like, I know he's getting older.
Oh, yeah.
But he's kind of a Tom Brady corner to me right now, man. I think he got at least 3 more in him if he can stay healthy. Just with how he's in shape. You can kind of tell he's just built to play in this scheme. So I think we definitely should re-sign him and Verrett. I think it's like a no-brainer. We'll talk about that a little bit later with the Verrett situation, though.
Yeah, because I was wondering what will it take to keep both guys? I mean, what is this? Are we talking money?
Hometown discount,
chasing rings.
Hometown discount for Sherm. Hometown discount really for Sherm. I mean, that's really what it is. It's boiled down to Verrett's going to sign, and I don't think his value is going to be as much because of his injuries. And he's only played 7 games. So I mean, we're gonna get him for a great price as long as he comes in the season healthy. Don't let him play no preseason, damn it. And we should we should be all right, man.
And I think Verrett could help the Niners out because they helped him out. They gave him, they there's some goodwill built here. You know what I'm saying? Like you rehabbed here, we let you on the field. You got hurt again. You rehabbed here. We re-signed you because we believed in you. And now look, you're excelling in our system, in our scheme. We scratched your back, now scratch ours, and give us some type of, you know, just play, a little bit of give and take for the offseason. And maybe they work something out and he doesn't have to leave and go get a humongous contract elsewhere. He can get a nice payday in San Francisco. And then, of course, the cap situation with the Niners is really just up in the air because of the quarterback position. We got to figure out what happens there because the money's all tied up into one spot right now.
Him and D Ford, I think. I think if we can get D Ford to retire or buy him out to retire or something, I think it'll save us a whole lot of money, man.
Absolutely.
He's going to have to. I mean, the injuries are just too high. Oh,
most definitely. I mean, I like him too, but I also feel a way about him not just coming out and saying like, "Hey, man, this, I'm sorry, Niners." You know what I mean? Like this, something I'm planned on, but hey, I'm sorry. Can we get a sorry D Ford? I mean, that's all. I mean, you know how long a sorry goes. I mean, I'm a faithful fan, man. So we coming for you if you ain't doing right, man. So, and he's been hurt.
Yeah, with
D
years. Ford though, I mean, I think with D Ford, the Niners, the Chiefs knew his back injury history. I think most fans knew, and I guess it's a back. Just, excuse my language. Shit happens, and it's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. And he might retire. He might retire. He might just get a buyout, or he might just get cut. But the cut hurts the Niners more than anything else. So hopefully there's some type of retirement settlement in there. But it's just if the Niners could do it over again, I think they would. I think they could still make the Super Bowl without D Ford. And I'm not trying to shit on the guy, but that's a lot of draft capital to give up and a lot of money for only 272 snaps. He played 272 snaps.
I don't know if we can make the bowl. I don't think we make the bowl without Nick Bosa, though. I think he brings it to another level up front. Yeah. So let's talk about this one, man. Jimmy G, is he going to return this season? And what about starting in 2021? So just let me know what your thoughts is about him coming back. I know it's him and George. I know people's been speaking from, the 49ers camp. Kyle Shanahan was saying he's hopeful that Jimmy and George will come back. I definitely see George coming back personally. I don't see Jimmy. To be honest with you, man, I don't see him coming back, especially if we're going to the playoffs with Nick Mullins. You might as well get him ready. It's hard to go to a quarterback that has not played really much at all during the season, just as a head coach. Just you're being comfortable with, you're calling plays, you're getting familiar exactly with what you have, and then for you to go back to another guy with a different arm, different way of playing in the playoffs, I don't think that'd be a good move. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Hoff?
I mean, I think he has to return if he's healthy, if he's cleared. He has to return. I think we see him for that Cowboys game. I think we see him for the final 3 games of the season. You're getting paid $25 million a year, and if you're 100%, you need to be out there. With a backup quarterback, we were talking about it off air. If Nick Mullins can get you through this stretch at 500 or close to 500 to give you a shot, then you go back to your starter who, we all know Jimmy Garoppolo has his warts, his flaws, and everything else, but we do know he's better than Nick Mullins. We do know that he's better than
CJ Beathard. Than Nick Mullins. He's definitely better than
he's miles better than those guys. But and that's the argument that you see with 49ers fans. Oh, well, we win a lot more with him than we do without him. Well, yeah, of course. When your other options are Brian Hoyer, CJ Beathard, and Nick Mullins, I certainly hope so. And that's not the standard you should hold Jimmy Garoppolo to. You should hold him to the standard of the other quarterbacks around the league. So where does he fit? I think he's in the bottom third, probably 18 range of quarterbacks. But I think he's back this season. 2021, we'll see. I think it depends on where the Niners end up in the draft. I think it's if they can get him to agree to some type of pay cut or I mean, if they can get him to agree to some type of pay cut, that would be ideal. But I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's back next year. There's too much smoke around Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback, as a franchise quarterback, to have every name in the book thrown out there by media, by Chris Sims, by Matt Mayoko, the guys that are close to this team. The first one was Brady. We all know they tried to trade for Brady. They openly admitted that. We all heard about Chris Sims bringing up Aaron Rodgers. Now it's Matthew Stafford. Then you hear the Sam Darnold stuff.
Hey,
if you're a franchise quarterback,
go on that Matthew Stafford now. Come on, baby. Hey, I wouldn't mind that at all. I'm all in on that one.
Yeah, bring me Matt Stafford. But if I'm the 49ers, and if I had any type of say in this, I would figure out a way to work a trade of Jimmy Garoppolo elsewhere. Because the dead cap is only $2 million. If you can get yourself an early 4th round pick, late 3rd, you take that. You go ahead and use that pick and try to move up in this draft. There's guys that I really like. Zach Wilson is my guy. Trey Lance is a guy that I like. Mac Jones, Kyle Trask seem to be more of the Kyle prototype based on what everyone thinks they know about Kyle Shanahan and his quarterbacks. But I think the Niners are going to go young here. They're going to draft a guy, but I can also see them making a play on this Matthew Stafford thing. If you look at the contract, I think next year he's only on the books for $10.5 million. That's half of Jimmy Garoppolo's salary, and that's going to allow you to keep guys like Jason Verrett, Richard Sherman, DJ Jones. If you need to go ahead and get that extension done with Fred Warner, Trent Williams, the cost of keeping Jimmy Garoppolo, is A, and then B is, well, we're going to lose Sherman, Verrett, DJ Jones. We're going to lose a whole bunch of role players as well. Personally, I'd rather just go ahead and draft a young kid, save the money, re-sign the key pieces to this roster, and just these role players that have been vital throughout this entire run with Kyle Shanahan. DJ Jones has been vital. We all know Verrett's story. Without Verrett right now, where would this team be? Who am I'm missing a couple people here, but there's Daniel Brunskill. I don't know if Tart's back. I don't think he'll be back. I think they're going to roll with Moore and Ward. Yeah, he's a free agent, but he'll probably walk. Trent Williams has been vital. You got to pay him. What's he going to cost?
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't make sense.
You got to pay Trent Williams
to keep Jimmy. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for me to keep a quarterback that you're not in love with. 2, you try to get rid of, and 3, you are actively shopping around to find another replacement. So I think that relationship is not like broken or anything, but I think it's to the point where it's like, it's that girlfriend you kind of like, but you don't really like, so you stop texting her. Like that's where they're at right now.
Ghosting. Hey, that's well said. And I honestly believe that what is about to happen here is Jimmy Garoppolo will be back this season. And I think for a good reason. The 49ers want him to showcase that pretty skill set that got him this deal, right? I don't think he'll be back for the 2021 season. Not cost effective, and he's not getting the job done. Simple, just like Hobbs just said. I think you have to draft the mobile quarterback if you have the opportunity, or the NFL is going to pass you by. Jimmy Garoppolo just doesn't present that skill set, but he's better than most backups, and he's going to come in for the remainder of the game. I'm hopeful that he comes in against the Cowboys, going to possibly light them up, and he's going to have every NFL team on notice. Look for the 49ers to try to move this guy in the offseason.
Please light up the Cowboys. It ain't too many games I want to win, man. But I hate the Cowboys, man.
That's right up the street from the crib. I'm going. I'm gonna try to go. Tickets are getting out of hand.
I'm sure they 3 Gs. He trying to get his money back.
Them tickets is nuts. Nice. But to your point about the mobile quarterback, and this to me goes back to the offensive line. Offensive lines in college aren't getting any better either. So those guys are going to transition to the NFL as well. You might as well hit that transition button now. Go ahead and get you a guy who can move. You don't have to have a Lamar Jackson. You need to have a mobility like an Aaron Rodgers, a mobility like a Patrick Mahomes. You don't need Russell Wilson or Colin Kaepernick type mobility. You just need enough to extend the play, be able to
I wouldn't
offset
mind
the pocket.
I wouldn't mind Kyler Murray's speed.
Or Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is just, he's different. Like he's like a little, I don't know, but he's definitely he's something else. But for what Kyle Shanahan wants to do, you know what he wants. He wants to be able to move the pocket just a little bit off the play action, get him away from some of the pass rush. And those are the guys that I keep pointing out. Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Kyle Trask can do that. Mac Jones, Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati is another guy, maybe.
Hey, I like him out of Cincinnati,
Stafford,
man.
So.
I like him.
But I do too.
He's kind of flashed only this year to me, though. Last year he
He
wasn't
reminds me
really.
of Cap.
Yeah. But he you could tell he's an energy guy. I like those type of guys, man.
He's tall too. That I like that. Tall because if you watch Nick and Jimmy, they can't see over the line. That's why you get a lot of balls batted down. That's why you see a lot
I
of this
hate
stuff over
that.
the middle.
Oh my
You know what I
God,
mean?
that bothers me
So
so
annoying.
much. I
Every
don't
week.
get it.
It's one every week.
Yeah, but also too that has a lot to do with skill because the small quarterbacks don't get batted because I don't see
Drew Brees don't have that happen.
he don't have that problem. Let's just say it. Nick's partially a bum. Let's go ahead and say it. But it's all right, man. Nick, you're fighting for it, so I'm rooting for you into the end, man. So that's just me straight up. But so how much of impact Jason Verrett and Kerry Hyder's had on the team, man? I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and start this one off.
As John Middlecoff says. John Middlecoff calls him Khalil Hyder Jr., as a Khalil Mack type guy. Hyder is a effort defensive end, defensive tackle. He's your do-it-all guy on this defensive line, and I want him back. I compared him to Ronnie Blair, and I think if you could have two Ronnie Blairs on one team, Ronnie Blair himself and a Kerry Hyder, that'd be ideal. I was hoping Ronnie would come back this year because I think that would have vastly improved this team going forward. But yeah, you got to keep Kerry Hyder around, and I think their impact is felt. Kerry Hyder has more sacks as a Niner than D Ford does.
Mm-hmm.
For 1/26 of the cost, you know what I mean? So it's a guy who worked his ass off, and the impact is felt weekly. You see him every week.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Blair?
We spoke about Jason Verrett earlier. We are starting to approach the talks of, is this guy a lockdown? Balls aren't going that way. I don't see many touchdowns going over his head. Obviously, Jason Verrett is scoring pretty high. He's a top 5 corner. My guy is Hyder.
We about to see this week, though.
It's obvious. 7.5 sacks. Like, just tell me another player on the defensive line that is having that type of production.
Kinlaw's close. He's not getting there, but Kinlaw's pressures is up there, man. He's a stud,
right?
Man.
And so it's felt he has to come back. I think the defensive line coach is a big reason why Hyder is being as successful as he is. Same coach that he had in Detroit. You have to bring them back, and that goes into why you can't send out so much money with this quarterback situation. There's a lot of small pieces.
It all comes back to the quarterback.
There's a lot of small pieces that I would like to see back in the 2021 season.
Yeah, certain guys we're going to make hard decisions on too. I like Hyder. I also, I just like the fact that he's kind of one of these guys who's been traveling around just trying to find the spots. We're going to get him on the deal. We got a great D-line coach, so let's just be real about it. He's coaching them up. When we're healthy, with him, I still think we need to draft a second-round defensive end that's special.
Agreed.
To go with Bosa. But I do think he's a good depth guy. I think he can come in and really cause havoc, and that's what I like, man. And Jason Verrett, I've seen him in say I'm glad when he came over, when he was with the Chargers, I was impressed then. So I knew when he came over, I had my my ceiling was high for him. I was happy. He was just hurt. And then when he got in the Steelers game, he was getting whooped. Like when he was getting whooped in the Steelers game, man, that to me told me, okay, this is not that guy right now, but he needs to be healthy. But I seen the swag like this year, man. I seen the confidence when he came back. It didn't seem like we rushed him back. It seemed like he just came in. He was healthy. It was organic type of feel. And I could just tell right now between him and Richard, because we're going to see some balls go at Verrett this week that we normally wouldn't see. They'll normally go out to E-Man, and E-Man is terrible in the slot, by the way. We got to get him out of the slot immediately. I know he was just helping out because of the emergency situation, but he is definitely a deep third guy. And I don't know if how many people understand that, but he is the way his hips are set up, his bank account, his hip bank account is set up. He can't really. He's not really fluid in them hips to be turning around and playing anytime man covers in or out. It breaks. He's not really there. But Jason Verrett, man, I'm so proud of Jason Verrett, man. And I wanted to bring this up to show everybody too, man. He's they got him up there, man. They had him up there, top 5. I know we mentioned it before, but that's Pro Bowl-ish right there. If he's getting this type of attention, man, that means he's getting attention throughout the the whole NFL, and hopefully he can make the top 100. I look forward to guys like that making number 90 or number 99 or number 100. Jason Verrett, you know what I
Whatever.
mean? Come up, sneak up in that thing, man. That's all I'm saying, man. Give him some love.
Yeah, and we were getting killed before he was put into the position. We were getting killed.
Yeah.
Like I don't even want to talk about what was the name, Allen.
Brian Allen.
It was just terrible. Yeah, Brian Allen. And I think Hav was talking about this. I really thought Akello was the one that decided he didn't want to come in, but as we were learning, that was a coaching decision. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So look here, man. Yeah. I mean, I like Verrett and what he brings to the table, but we need him to stay, and we also need to draft another corner. Wish we didn't give up, Reed out there that went to Seattle, man. But it's kind of a in the system he's used to. That's all. Robert Saleh, man, how good is he? How good is Robert Saleh, man? I know he's probably up for some jobs, but it's been a lot of hate his way earlier in the season. I was a guy who always say he doesn't adjust with running mobile quarterbacks, and I think we had to face the fact that nobody adjusts to mobile quarterbacks, right? Like that's just something. Correct. I was watching that Pittsburgh game. Even RG3 was out of there until he got hurt on his own again. But it's like there's no. I mean, as a coordinator, we used to call it. We just couldn't call a lot of man. We had to call a lot of zone to try to keep guys in areas. But a special player is going to get out. So apologize, Robert Saleh, but he is looking really, really, really good. And it's some of the play calls, man, the energy he brings. He's scheming them up. I mean, he is scheming it up. Whenever you got Kupp, he takes away Kupp every game against the Ram.
Every time.
Every time. Like, he schemes it up. Like, this is your guy. We're going to take him totally out of this game. We're going to make you beat us with Cook or something. We're going to beat us somewhere else. Because if you're not going to beat us with him. What do y'all feel about Robert Saleh, man? Let me know.
I mean, just look at the team. Offense was not getting it done. I think since 2019, the defense has carried this team. It wasn't Jimmy Garoppolo. People want to look at Kyle Shanahan's great play calling, and I'll applaud him for that. But still, it was the defense in 2019. It's the defense in 2020. I mean, how many 3-and-outs do you see coming from this defense? And then what happens? Offense gets the ball, either punts it or does something that is not productive. Robert Saleh deserves the head coaching position. And I was one of those people that says that, with the mobile quarterback thing and he doesn't make adjustments. And I got on him heavily about this zone coverage that has picked us apart going back to the Super Bowl, right? Has continued to pick us apart. Sometimes we stay in zone, I think, when we probably should get out of it. But hey, you can't go into man just based on the skill set. I think Robert Saleh has made that adjustment as the season has gone on. And look at the players that he's coaching up. This is not the same roster that he thought he was going to have in the season, and he's still putting up numbers. Man, kudos to Robert Saleh.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't buy into that. He doesn't make adjustments stuff. It's just, when you look at, so when this team is healthy, fully healthy, when you watch Bosa and you watch D Ford, when you watch Buckner and Armstead, how they would rush the passer, they did the same thing when they were playing run defense. They were basically getting behind the quarterback, behind the running back. So, and that's the issue you have with running quarterbacks as well. You get behind them, and that's why those lanes are open. Just lane integrity wasn't there, and that's not a Robert Saleh thing. That's just a league-wide thing, and I never got on to him about that. And then, of course, 2017, the team was in rebuild, so you give them a pass. 2018, they should be better. They weren't better because they still lacked a pass rusher, and people wanted them fired. Surprise, 2019, you get good players, and things happen. I think this year's his best year of work because, like you said, there's no Bosa out there, which is a humongous piece. No Ford out there. You're rolling out with guys like Deion Jordan, who's been
awful.
You don't see him. Kerry Hyder obviously is playing his ass off. Kinlaw's getting better every week. Armstead is probably one of the better run defenders in the NFL. And then I think a big part of this is your quarterback on defense. Fred Warner is getting these guys where they need to be, getting the calls out, getting the communication around the defense set up right. So, with everything, I think I think people need to remember this because it was a first time defensive coordinator. He was going to learn and grow, and he's learning and growing right before our eyes. And I think he's in line to get the Detroit job. He's in line to get the Chargers job. Whatever job he wants, he's going to have an interview for it. And I know he had a really good interview with the Browns. The presentation was excellent. So he's going to get a head coaching job. I think he's done an excellent job this year, based on the circumstance. If he can get DJ Jones back this year off COVID, if he can get just a little bit more out of Kinlaw every week, you're going to see this team make a run potentially. And it all comes back to how the offense works. And, Kyle does a great job with everything else, but he's also limited by his players at quarterback the entire time he's been here. So they need to get that right. But I think Saleh is going to be an excellent head coach if he gets that opportunity.
Yeah, me too. See him in Detroit. So who replaces Saleh?
I would go with DeMeco Ryan.
You like it? You like DeMeco?
I think he's on staff. I think reason I say that is because if you go back to Chip Kelly talked about him. Coach? Yeah, Chip Kelly talked about him a lot. Mentioned that he was ready to be a coordinator or potentially head coach down the road. When he gets to San Francisco, Kyle raves about him. Saleh raves about him. I think he'd be the guy that's in the building that they would probably promote. If they were to look outside, maybe a Dan Quinn, maybe you look at a Jeff Ulbrich in Atlanta. But I would just go with the guy who's already in the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It depends on his rapport with the team too, man. I think that matters. I mean, defense is a unique situation where play calling matters almost more than the players you got on the field a little bit. Certain skills, certain positions you can't hide guys. Of course, we know that, but I don't know. He does a really good job scheming up in the game. Like watch this Buffalo game. If it is 6-6 going into halftime, like Robert Saleh is probably going to be hunted by 7 to 10 jobs. I'm telling you right now, we can keep this game close because our offense is going to struggle. They're a really good defense. So, I like Robert Saleh, man. Shout out to Robert Saleh, man. Keep doing your thing. I don't know, man.
I hope Vic Fangio gets fired and he can come back.
You said what now?
I hope Vic Fangio gets fired and he can come back.
I wasn't a Fangio fan.
I don't think Jed and Vic are on good terms
at all.
That's probably a big one.
All right, man.
This dude Jed, man, that's crazy. He just in those beginning years, and he was really.
I'm the owner. Damn it. Okay, I'm 5'6" and I'm the owner. So you gonna listen to me. I don't care if he played. But look, what? Let's just go on. How's Nick Bosa gonna look in your estimate after this ACL injury? I don't think people talk about this enough. I think, to be honest with you, this is something of a concern. The explosion. I know I blew my ACL out. And this is 99, 2000, something like that. So, I mean, it's a concern. What do y'all think he's gonna look like when he gets back, man?
I mean, who's doing the rehab? This Niners staff or this personal staff?
This Niners staff is doing it right now.
From what I understand, he's doing it in Florida.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought the Niners staff was doing it.
No, from what I understand, it's in Florida. So if it's in Florida with his family, I think he'll be fine. If it's here in San Francisco, I don't know, because you got Blair had an issue, Julian Taylor had an issue with his ACL. I mean, this is first round pick, Hall of Fame caliber athlete, Nick Bosa. This has to be right. My expectation with him.
Solomon Thomas.
Solomon Thomas, another one. My expectation for Nick Bosa next year is going to be just progress weekly. I'm not going to set some crazy bar where he's going to have 15 sacks. No, I'm going to, if he can be a 7-8 sack guy, cool, perfect. But I would see him. I think he'll progress as the season goes on. But that's my big concern. Where is he rehabbing? Is it with the 49ers or is it in Florida with his pops? And I think it's Florida. I will ask for sure though. But that's my biggest concern. Where is he rehabbing? Because this Niners staff seems to have an issue with rehabbing ACLs.
Yeah, and I hate to say this to 49er fans, but it is what it is. I think Nick Bosa has a terrible 2021 season. Okay. We have to remember. So Nick Bosa plays a full year, full season, comes into the 2020 season, plays a game. Okay. Tears the ACL. So now that's reps.
He was hurt in
right?
college. He was
Professional
hurt in
reps.
college too. He had to take the season off in college, even though he could have came back. He just didn't want to come back.
I wouldn't have came back either. He had that abdominal tear.
Yeah.
It's more reps, man. And I just think he's going to have to come back. He's going to have to learn how to operate on that knee. He's going to have to learn how to play in the NFL again. I just think he has a setback in 2021, and hopefully 2022, you start to see that rookie year of Nicky Bosa, but I don't see a good season coming for him on his return.
I don't know. He's kind of explosive still. If he hasn't lost his motor, because I think a lot of that has to do with how good he is. He's got a motor.
So
he doesn't have he has skill set with his hands. He's never been he's not a bull rush guy, so he's relying on a lot of his quickness and speed. So I just really want to see how he's going to be able to sit down and drop that shoulder, and alignment come down, bearing on him and drop him down on the ground a couple times. I mean, that's a tough position to play when you just tore ACL. What you got, man?
Yeah.
So I was texting my boy just now. He's actually rehabbing in LA with Joey and his parents, so I think he'll be fine. I think we'll see a much better. We're not a much better Nick Bosa. I think we'll see a Nick Bosa who's ready to play come 2021.
Nice.
That's great.
But I would set the expectation accordingly. Like, all right, he had 9.5 last year. Coming into this year before the injury, I think we all expected 12 to 15.
Right.
I'm going to put it right back at that 7 to 9 range. And that's where I would, he's going to start off slow and then build his way back up into the season. I think he'll be fine.
He's really a pressure guy. And I think he'll help Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead's playing out of position. He's actually a tackle inside that pushes the pocket. Him and Kinlaw together with an elite defensive end, I think we'll be really, really good D-line again. So I just had to bring that up because not a lot of people talks about that one, and I feel like
he had the video rehabbing.
I seen it upside down.
Yeah.
Upside, I was like, okay, Nick. Yeah, so I was happy to see that. I was happy to see that, man. You know what I mean? Like, let's see that.
That was positive.
So another question for you guys, man. Who is the MVP of the 49ers? So right now, if you had to pick anybody from players to coaches, who would be the MVP of the 49ers season up to this point?
Fred Warner. It's Fred Warner. I mean, this guy's an All-American. If you look at what he's doing week to week, it doesn't matter if we're getting blown out. He's talking trash. He's coming up, laying hat. You talked about it earlier. I think it's his leadership. When this team was down and out, had no one to turn to. Nicky Bosa gone. Solomon Thomas gone. D Ford wasn't even there, right? Who did they turn to? They turned to Fred Warner. Fred Warner has played sideline to sideline, picked his brothers up where he had to. I just think this guy's the MVP. And look for the progress into next season. It's like, I think when Quan Alexander got there, Fred Warner got his swagger and he learned how to be a captain. I think this season he's showing that, and next season he's going to be even more phenomenal. My MVP of the year is Fred Warner.
Who you got, brother?
I mean, I have to agree. I think it's Fred. On the defensive side, it's Fred does everything. With Fred doesn't get the numbers in the game, like tackle numbers and PBU numbers in the game, because he makes shit disappear. Like, don't you dare throw it here. Don't you dare run at me. So he's not going to have those type of numbers. But what he does, that doesn't show up on the stat sheet is ridiculous. That's why he's the best linebacker in football. Offensively, it just sucks because I think it's got to be Deebo, because the games we've won is because of Deebo. You know what I'm saying? Like the Patriots game, Deebo. The Rams 2 games, Deebo. Like those, I think Deebo would be your offensive MVP. He's an extension of the run game because our quarterbacks can't throw it past 7 yards. And if they do, it's not even a spiral. It's or behind. Granted, Nick Mullins made a big play at the end of the game last week, but I think the offensive MVP is Deebo and the defensive MVP is Fred Warner.
I got Robert Saleh as the MVP up to this point. I mean, he's kept a pretty banged up, no pass rush. I mean, I don't think people really understand. We really don't have a pass rush. It's kind of
Not at all.
you know,
Non-existent.
it's kind of like just
He's
around.
got bodies.
Just bodies, man. He's doing whatever he can without a pass rush, and we're still covering. We're still top 5, so I give Robert Saleh that. And I love Fred Warner. He's my guy on the team. Offensively, man, I am a Trent Williams fan, but I'm going to say my guy Juice holds it together. Kyle doesn't get enough credit, man. He's rarely injured, all right, and then he's opening up holes. Our guys are running untouched, bro. And if you look at what he's doing, and he's catching the ball out of the backfield, he's diving for catches. He's always making some big catch or a big block for the offense, man. He doesn't get enough credit. And I love Deebo, but I wasn't gonna say Deebo because I think that whole offense is designed for a Deebo guy. But I couldn't do it because he's been missing a lot of games. And Kyle's been there pretty much the whole damn season. You know what I mean? So.
That's fair.
I had to give it to Juice, and I don't think nobody's gonna ever say him. He's a Pro Bowler again this year because there's no fullbacks in the league. But even if it was, I don't think it'll be anybody that would be able to take him out anyway. You know what I mean?
Too talented, way too talented.
Yeah.
Contributor, so much production.
So Jason Verrett, I know we talked about it earlier. Do we believe that we should try to sneak in a Raheem Mostert extension right now? Do we approach him and say, hey, let's get this 2 years extension done, and put some incentives in there, throw him a little capital, and then go into next year not having to worry about him? Do you think that's something that the 49ers should do?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've had those talks already. I would have had those conversations like 2 weeks ago, and figured it out. Like, hey, Jason. Like I said earlier, we,
hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Jason, listen, we helped you out, help us out. Let's get something going here. I think he'll see a good amount on the open market, but what helps is that he's been in the Niners system for 2 years. He's rehabbed there. He's got all his stuff there. He's from the area. That's a big part of it too. Mm-hmm. So. I think he stays. I think they've already had this conversation. I think they were like, listen, Jason, we want to extend you. We want to do so that we're protected and you're protected. More so the Niners are going to ask for more protection because of his injury history, because you really can't count on him. And it's not to be disrespectful to the guy, but most of his career he's spent injured. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would do a 2-year incentive-based type of contract and be like, hey, Jason, look, we took care of you for 2 years. Help us out here. We'll get you some money. We'll make sure you're taken care of. But throw us a bone and give us a little bit of a break on this contract. So yeah, I think they've already had that conversation. I think they should have that conversation.
Yeah, I know he's not going to take no extension during the season. Why would you? I mean, you're playing at a pretty high level. You kind of have the 49ers on the hook. They need you. The 49ers are going to do everything in their power to try to keep this guy here for however long they can.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you have to do. I mean, if you look at your personnel, do you have another cornerback that is on this level that can guard the top talent in the NFL? We've seen Emmanuel Mosley.
I think Williams is pretty good in the slot. I think he's the best slot guy. I think he's really good, Williams.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best in the NFL at guarding slot receivers. So, yeah, Verrett. No extension. I'm thinking this guy's he's gonna be asking for a little bit.
The Raheem
bit of the bag.
Nobody pat us on the back, but Raheem Mostert contract in the offseason was like the prior to this one. It was a great. That was a great. They seen it.
That was the cheapest. That was a steal.
They seen it more than he did. They seen it more than he did. And even when he said, "Oh, I want to be traded," they was like, "Please
do it."
And that really wasn't him. That was his agent. His agent was like, "Hey." And then John was just like, "What? Come on, man! Come on now.
Let's get that up out of here, man. Let's talk about Fool's Gold, man. Fool's Gold. Jimmie Word. I'm not, I've been pretty hard on Jimmie Word, man. So did Jimmie Word earn him? I know he has a contract, and I know we just signed him for a contract, but I do think we could deal him in the offseason if But I think Richard Sherman came back as his number one cheerleader, and he's pumping him up. He did have a great game. But how do we feel about Jimmie Word in his offseason? I am not a fan. Jimmie Ward is supposed to play like he did this week, damn near every week. When I see Baker and them playing, I'm like, man, we just need guys who make plays. Like, where are our guys making plays? I'm cool that you can cover. That's nice. But can you knock some ball down? Can you tip some ball? Can we get some interception? Can we make some strip tackles? Can we get some of that? Like this week we was spoiled, wasn't we? He came in here with two turnovers, and I'm like, is that Jimmie Ward? Him or Tart don't do none of that. And I'm so tired of it, man. We need a guy in the back end who plays ball, who is a ball hawk. We need that. Give me what y'all think of Jimmie Ward, man. Because I'm fool's gold.
No, I don't think he's fool's gold. I think he's a very safe safety, meaning he's going to prevent a lot of big plays from happening, like he did in 2019. If it wasn't for him, we don't win that Saints game. He stopped so many plays from happening.
He didn't stop Cook.
The Saints game last year.
He didn't stop Cook. Cook
that was his responsibility. That was Harris. They were in man covers on those two plays.
Harris.
Remember Marcel Harris was out there?
Outside linebacker. He looks good though. Go ahead.
He's a Sam linebacker now. Yeah. But what you're seeing, at least this week, you saw the rotation of the safety. You saw Jimmie Ward in the strong safety position and Moore in the free safety position. So you're seeing this different combination. You're going to see him. You're going to see probably where he's going to excel more. He's more of like.
He's a strong safety. He can play strong safety really
He's
well.
more like what they're doing with Jalen Ramsey. He's kind of like a star position. Let him freelance a little bit because he can make a few plays inside in the box. Let him do that. I think he's been impressive the last 2 years. Even this year, he's been impressive. Now, I'm critical of him because he doesn't turn the ball over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if this is his new role that we saw versus the Rams going forward, then we probably see some more fumbles. Yes, we might see an interception. You know, the interception that he dropped against the Saints, like that's the similar situation. He was at the strong safety position, and he was in the box. You know, that's kind of where he might belong from now on. Tavares Moore is a young kid. He's going to need more reps.
Tavares is better. I like Tavares back there. I think he's better than Ward back there.
He's faster. He's got more range. He's longer.
Yeah, and he's a hitter.
Cover a little bit better.
He's a hitter,
and he can hit. Yeah, and then Jimmie Ward in the box. He's a safe tackler. He doesn't let a lot of shit behind him. If he needs to cover a tight end, he can do that. You saw on the Richard Sherman interception, that was man coverage. Sherman playing his 7 yards off, but Ward is on the tight end, carries him up off his hip the entire time. And Sherman has his deep third over Woods. Where does Goff go with the ball? He throws it right to Richard Sherman. Like that kind of coverage makes all the difference. So I think Jimmie Ward's been fine. He's going to earn himself another year. He'll probably earn himself another contract, not with us, but he'll probably get another contract once this one is up elsewhere. But I think he's fine. I think I just want to see more turnovers,
more plays.
I don't need him to have interceptions. I just need him to force a couple more fumbles.
Or can we knock some balls down? Can I see him just swat balls down and just making plays, man?
You're being too hard, bro. I mean, last year he had a whole bunch of PBUs, bro. He had a whole bunch of them.
Exactly. Gold standards. That's why I want him to be. I want him to be there. That's what I need for him to do, man.
I think he's playing pretty good. Jimmie Ward. This has always been my take on Jimmie Ward. He's not special. Okay, like he's not going to give you the Buda Baker, Earl Thomas. That's not the kind of player he is. He's safe. Hobbs said it perfectly. He's going to come up and make the tackle. He's going to do everything by the book. Nothing special. Will he be around next season? I think there's so much talent out there.
I think we have to. I mean, he got a contract.
But the contract, there you go. That is what's going to keep him around. It's the contract. It's not his playing ability, and that doesn't make you feel good as a fan. Knowing that someone's around based off the contract and not based off what they could do on the field. Can you trade the guy? Is there a trade value anywhere? Because I just think there's
if you trade him, then what do you? Then where are you going?
Yeah.
If you trade him, then what do you do?
Yeah, we
draft another guy.
Yeah,
because the best safety is going to go in first round. But we need a quarterback. So what do you do?
You don't need the best safety. You need someone better than what you have, and I think that's in the draft.
So Andre Cisco, Javon Holland.
Oh, Andre Cisco, we just covered him last Wednesday. Andre Cisco is a monster. Like if I think he's a strong safety though. I think he's gonna come in.
Yeah, me
but
too.
you know what he reminds me of though? That's kind of scary. He reminds me of Taylor Mays. And I remember Taylor Mays at USC.
Conversation over. Nope.
I remember Taylor Mays at college. I was like, this guy's Superman. Like, but then when he got in the league, he kind of reminds me. I'm telling you, of Taylor Mays, and that scares me because I'm like,
what happened to Taylor Mays?
Man, he just wasn't it, man. He just wasn't it, man. Taylor wasn't ready, man. He didn't get drafted by
USC, man.
Pete Carroll.
USC always letting you down.
Come on now, I'm a
Trojan
fan,
except
man.
for Reggie Bush.
Men of Troy, baby. Men of Troy. Hey, Troy Polamalu, baby. Troy Polamalu.
Y'all got us in that bowl game a couple years back. Saquon Barkley, the Penn State and
so you was Ohio State
USC Rose Bowl.
Oh,
Penn State guy. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. See, yeah, that's why you don't. Yeah, because that was Sam Darnold that came back and threw them strikes at the end of that game. That was a great celebration. I remember celebrating that day. We'll talk about that though off air.
It's nice talking to you guys. I'll see you later.
Hey, the last question. Here we go, man. This is our Do Better session. Hey, when we're going to talk about going into next week. I know we had some guys that didn't do as well in this game. Who needs to do better in order for us to win this football game against Buffalo on Monday night?
Raheem Mostert.
We got.
But tell me why. Tell me why, Huff.
Mostert. I mean, we have to get this run game going. You have to. You have to. With this 49ers offense, well, the Niners defense can play well. They can play with these guys. They can play with anybody in the league. This offense has to stay on the field, sustain drives. This is where Raheem Mostert has to get more than what he got, 2.4 yards a carry on Sunday, whatever it was. He needs to get in that 5-6 yards per carry mode and just get rolling. The room for error for this 49ers team is so small because of the quarterback. Nick Mullins, versus this Bills defense. I don't want the ball in his hands. I want the ball in Deebo's hands. I want the ball in Raheem Mostert's hands. Run the ball and run the ball effectively. I think the Niners can run the ball much better against this Bills team because there is no Aaron Donald in Buffalo. There is no Michael Brockers in Buffalo. Ed Oliver, I'm just kind of meh on him. And I think Raheem can get the edges on these guys in Buffalo versus Buffalo. So if Raheem gets the edge and cuts and gets loose, the Niners could win this game.
I think Wilson will play better too. I think he'll play a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of doing better, not so much doing better to win the game, but someone that needs to do better is Emmanuel Moseley. I totally appreciate the argument about the hips. There's something about Emmanuel Moseley that tells me if he had a full offseason and he had time to learn the position, I have no doubt in my mind that the guy can learn the position. I seen him last week. He did terrible. He just looked god awful.
Yeah, he can't play there.
Yeah, and if I'm looking at that game, that's who I need to do better. If I'm looking at who I want in this game to do exceptionally well for us to win, man, I would like to see. And I know he didn't play last week, but Brandon Ayuk, man, there's nothing that I can say he needs.
Baby Isaac Bruce.
I just need him to play. I just need him to play, and I need to see the duo. Him and Deebo, I think it's going to be fireworks, man. But doing better, I need Emmanuel Moseley to do better.
I feel so validated because Twitter yelled at me for months and months and months about Ayuk wasn't going to be as good as Ruggs or Judy or CeeDee Lamb. I'm like, man, what are y'all talking about? Because Ayuk is going to be a baller.
He was balling out here
from
in
a
Sierra
pro-style offense.
Yeah.
He was a baller in college.
He was balling at JC College out here at Sierra College.
Exactly.
He was balling,
like, come
man.
on.
He was a star.
But, I compared him to I viewed him as Kyle's Odell Beckham. Like that's his version of Odell Beckham.
Okay.
Brandon Ayuk.
So
he's not Odell, but to Kyle, that's what he could be.
My comparison to guys too would be like I think Deebo is more of a Hines Ward guy. I think he is a Hines like physical, stout kind of guy, good hands, blocking, run the ball hard, break tackles. I see Isaac Bruce. I see Isaac Bruce and Brandon Ayuk. So those two together, man, I think it's going to be they'll be really good. We need a quarterback. But my do better, Mike McGlinchey.
Oh man, Mike again.
This is my 5th week in a row for Mike McGlinchey on Do Better. I hope Mike hears me. look, man, I don't know. He's like a tackle tight end. He lost weight. He's looking like a tight end, and they're whooping him. And let me tell you, Buffalo is going to come for you. Did you see what Aaron Donald dogs cat like? But you tell me they deliberately lined him up 1-on-1 against Mike McGlinchey. You see what happened. I mean, they was continuously doing it. Mm-hmm. They knew you are trash. You need to do better, bro.
Yeah.
Have some pride. I mean, I'm holding him or something. I'm slamming him to the ground, face masking him. Like, I played with pride. You wasn't going to just whoop my ass. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do something. And if you're just going to whoop my ass, I'm telling Coach, look, Coach, I need some help. Give me some help. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help.
In that first matchup, you saw what they did late in the game. They put Donald on McGlinchey, and where was Kittle? Next to McGlinchey. Like, they gave him the help. And you don't have that right now because Kittle's out. So
and Ross
that's a big part of it. So Ross had a nice block, but
Ross has good blocks. I was gonna say I seen Ross. I don't know. Ross Dwelly, he's there with the blocks. He's hitting people in the chest. I think on the last play to kind of set us up.
Yeah,
for a field goal. Ross Dwelly
that's called a kick out block, man. He's gonna make that block.
Yeah, the rest of the blocks that Ross had, a little suspect.
So for a lot of y'all that don't know, kick out block is a timed block that's going to happen. They're gonna let him go. They're gonna double team on the nose. They're going to let him go. The kick-out block is nothing but a guard that's coming downhill. I mean, not a guard, tackle, or even a tight end is coming downhill to kick them out so we can run up under him. That's all it was, even though he did a very good job at that. But we did celebrate that a little too much.
Backside defender, yep.
We celebrated that a little too much. But last thing, here we go. Prediction. Who wins? Buffalo, Niners. Who do you got? Give me a score.
Oh, man. Honestly, I haven't even looked at the Buffalo film. I think the Niners can win this game. I'm gonna go say the Niners win this game, and I think the Niners, as long as they can get to 24 points, they can hold this Buffalo team to 20. I'm gonna go 24-20. 49ers pull it out on a in a tight one, and I think Nick makes just enough plays, and the defense forces Allen into some dumb turnovers, and I think you'll see those type of results. So 24-20, Niners pull it out.
That's good.
Man,
I like it.
That's a real good score. I wanted to go there. I'm going to say 14-21 Bills. I just don't see the 49ers winning this game. I know you get some pieces back. I think the Bills are a better team. I think they're better defensively. I think they have the better quarterback. That's obvious. Yeah, I got the Bills winning this game. 21-14 Bills.
I like it. I just think we're better coached. So I will give that to us. We're better coached. They have the better quarterback, but I think that's it. I really think that that's literally it.
Yeah.
They have the better quarterback. We have a better defense than them. When we're healthy, offensively, we'll be way better than them if we had our quarterback right. So I think they have a better quarterback right now. I think we have better coaching. I see us winning 28-17 49ers. And the reason why I say 28, I see a pick six in our two, the lockdown brothers. One of them's gonna get a early game, maybe not even pick six, maybe a pick within the 30-yard line, the 20-yard line, and we may take one in. But I really believe that they're gonna test Verrett, and I think they're gonna also test our slot because if they looked at the film with E-Man, I don't know if
I'm going to come back next week. Watch when E-Man steps up. I'm coming back next week. He's
not playing,
and everyone's going to have to put respect on E-Man's name.
We're going to they can. You brought up the slot thing. If they stay in base and they roll out Harris as a Sam linebacker and they're going to have to do that. If they put Harris on one of these guys, I think Harris is a better coverage guy than he gets credit for anyway.
Way better.
So you put him or the tight end, Dawson Knox. It's actually not a bad matchup, but if they have to go to the nickel, I didn't think E-Man played terrible, but I'm with you that it's a new position for him, so he's not going to be familiar.
His hips. Watch him. I
wouldn't mind staying in base and having Harris out there covering a tight end or Cole Beasley. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all.
So
I didn't even watch the film yet. Shit.
Also too, they may have to roll Jimmie Ward down there and
Yep.
play inside out, like play where Harris is going to be the inside take and go routes is going to go to the safety is Jimmie Ward. They can roll it like that too. Play some inside out with them on different times of the game that kind of help out. But I do think they're going to go after us in the slot. So watch out for the middle, tight ends, all that. It's going, hopefully Greenlaw can have a great game. But I really appreciate you coming on, man. I don't want to hold you too much longer. I really appreciate it, man. I know you're a couple hours ahead of us. Go ahead and let everybody know how they can find you, how they can hear your stuff, and just let them know, man. I mean, you're famous out here in these streets, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. People think I'm important. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. My wife doesn't even think I'm that important. But but no, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, wherever you find it. It's Fourth and Gold Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Gold Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at JavierVague_. And then we do everything. We do a lot of stuff at Pro Football Network. So just go ahead and go to ProFootballNetwork.com. You'll see some of our work there as far as the digital media stuff. With Ben Albright, Brett Yaris, Mike Tanier, those people like that. They're those people that we talk to weekly and work with for digital media content. So if you need anything, just reach out to my DMs are always open. So I'm always down to talk to anybody about anything and everything. So hit me up whenever.
I respect it. Anything, Blair, before we get up out of here?
Man, Hob, we appreciate you coming on. It was a pleasure. We got to do this again sometime soon.
Likewise.
So we normally,
of course.
We normally do a Monday show, so we're going to do one. We should be able to get a pregame, halftime, and after the game. We normally don't do that, but we're definitely going to do it this week. Man, I'm excited. This is a playoff game for us. So, 49er fans, we need to treat this as a playoff game. This is our first week 1 playoff game. So we really need to bring our A game. One thing we do is travel. We travel well. We play good on the road. We actually play better than we do at Levi. So that's a plus. So respect. Appreciate y'all for coming on. Hey, Niners, go Niners.
Mm.